more Series 10 previews are out, green is out, and of course I always like to jump ahead and start already concocting ideas and strategies and things that you can do with these new leaders and cards that come out. And so the Goku was shown yesterday, the leader. In this spread, the leader I've been most interested in so far, even when it comes to blue and green. On its front side is burst 3 when this card attacks, draw a card, and then auto when one of your battle cards is KO'd, you may flip this card over. If you do draw one card, then switch up to one of your energy to active mode. So it has this very similar awakening condition to Vegito, but it doesn't require the battle card to be green, so that comes into play if you decide to build these decks differently. But in general, very strong ability to awaken early, and then awaken if your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So the reason why you want to awaken early is because you're awakened side. So auto burst 3 when this card attacks, draw a card, and then activate main / battle once per turn. Choose 2 cards from your life in your place 2 cards from your life in your drop area, and then choose all of your battle cards and your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place them in their opponent's drop areas. So it doesn't KO them. It only places them. This is important. So any effects that like trigger off of KO, it gets around it. And then also this ability, if you can awaken turn 1, having access to 8 life to be able to use this ability 2 to 3 times in a game is just going to be incredibly impactful. It's going to lead to you winning a lot of games because your opponent's not going to be able to ever establish a board presence, and they're not going to be able to threaten your unison, which already unisons are looking to be exactly what this game needed to start becoming that pace that we look for. And everything that it felt overpowered is starting to feel like it's more in check, because having to deal with this unison card just buys you more and more time to be able to play and win the game. So I'm really excited about unison, and I really like the green cards that were shown, just in how they're going to work with everything that we currently have. And so what's cool about this deck I'm about to show you guys is it's, aside from like a card, it's a pretty reasonably priced deck, and I'm really excited to see what Series 10 gives us, because blue got that really broken like free counterplay, so I'm excited to see if green got one as well to go with their unisons. But in general, we haven't seen SRs yet, so this is just my first off the cuff build of Goku, and interestingly enough, it's a hand attrition deck. Reason why you'll see as we move forward, but the burst 3 on the leader is going to be something that comes into play big time. So let's go straight into the first subset of cards. So the first card I want to go over is SS Bardock Paternal Unison, which has an auto. When your opponent combos, you may place up to 1 card from their combo area in their drop area, and then negate the seal for the turn. So this is great offensively. It's great defensively. It's just really funny because since it's an auto, it's just whenever your opponent combos. So say you're playing against somebody that's wanting to use a Raider's Warcry and they combo with it, you can just go, I'll use my auto. I'll place that card in the drop area. Like, this unison is pretty absurd just for that alone. But then the +1 is just so good. You may choose one of your green battle cards, energy cost of 1, and KO it. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. And then -3, activate main. This card gets +5,000 in triple attack for the turn. So it helps you win the game. But the biggest thing is that +1. And that +1 forces us into a strategy of playing a lot of 1-drops, which I don't mind doing, because people are starting to do Tragedy Overground or all these effects. Green is already lacking energy efficiency as it is, so just focusing on playing 1s just isn't that bad. So Series 10, we've given a few 1-drops that are pretty impactful. So number 1 is Bulma Life on Namek. When you play this card, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 green unison card with specified cost of 2, or 1 green Saiyan with energy cost of 3 or less among them, and add it to your hand. So this is going to be able to your unison. Some of the Saiyans we have in the deck, we're playing another unison in the deck as well, so we're going to have access to a lot of cards with this card. And of course, it's a 1-drop that we can sack to Bardock. 4 Vegeta the Lone Prince, our super combo. So this card is a permanent. This card can't be played with skills from any area. So that's important to note, that you can't play it with Hasty Dispatch Dispo or any other card that plays it with a skill. But this card is really good. So auto, when this card, if your leader card is green, your life is at 4 or less. When you use it in combo, draw a card. And then auto, if your leader card is mono green, when this card is played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So they don't bottom deck it, they actually discard the card. And so think about playing this after you play your Bardock. So you go, okay, you discard a card. I'll play a Bardock. I'll sack my Vegeta, you discard another card. So it's almost like having another rebrand. Like, yeah, you're sacrificing a super combo, but making your opponent bin 2 cards, supreme value. Playing 4 Son Gohan Potential Unlock. It's a 1-drop blocker, permanent. If your leader card is green, you have a unison card with specified cost of 2 in play. You can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. Very good. It has unique, so you can't play more than 1 copy and play at a time, but you want to see blockers early. So we're playing 4 Son Gohan Potential Unlocked and 4 Saiyamen. And Saiyamen actually does go in tandem with Hasty Dispatch Dispo. Same thing with Son Gohan, so you can keep getting these back. And then it just has blocker. And then when this card's KO, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 1 or less, and KO it. So we're just having 8 1-drop blockers to help us awaken early. Something you could do as well. I didn't do it because there's a card that basically won't let me, it doesn't count black cards in my drop area. But if you wanted to, you could play the Supreme Guy of Time Blocker, the 1-drop draw card, and that would just be really high value for this deck. So like turn 1, play that draw card, your opponent goes, you block, you draw a card, untap 1, awaken, off to the races. So I think that's a pretty cool interaction. For Newfound Power, Son Gohan, this card's great early and it's great late. It's one of your closers. Since your opponent's going to have a really low hand size, being able to use critical to get their life down or kill them is going to be the best way to win the game, so we're playing forks of that card. And then 2, Hasty Dispatch Dispo. It's a 1-drop. Allows us to get some fodder into play for Bardock Paternal Unison, so just high synergy there. The rest of the deck, we're playing 4 Ribrianne Punishing Passion. If your lead card is green and this card, you remove this card from drop area, your opponent discards 2 cards. Perfect. Like, we want the energy sink. It works for us. 4 Cells, Earth Shrine, Kamehameha. We don't play any negates because we're just going to be trying to use Cells, Earth Shrine, Kamehameha as much as possible. So this combined with Master Roshi Kamehameha Origins means we're just always going to have access to it. 4 Kukunsa Beastly Maiden, the best negate in the game right now. Kills anything. It's a 20k, puts pressure on the opponent's unison. Everything that you want. 2 Feet Kamehameha allows our leader to be a critical threat to help close the game. 2 Furthering Destruction Champa. It's probably our finisher in the deck. 2 Super 17 Power Distilled. Dual attack. If there are 10 or more non-black cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. And then choose 1 card in your drop area, send it to your warp. When this card attacks, choose 1 green extra card in your drop area and add it to your hand. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to their warp. So our plan here is to get our opponent to little to no resources in hand, drop a Super 17 Power Distilled, and just close the game out because we're going to be able to play this for 4 energy, dual attack, make them bin cards, and then get more access to Feet Kamehameha, Cells with Strong Kamehameha, etc. And like I said, 2 Further Instruction Champa is like our closer. And then we're playing more Unison. We're playing Golden Frieza Unison of Malice. Has a +1 activate main, draw 1 card. You choose 1 card in your hand, place it on top of your deck, and this card gains critical for the turn. Being able to have this as an option, opposed from Bardock, to be able to tutor for it, and just having a critical attacker when we're playing hand destruction is already very powerful. And then -2, this is great. Activate main until the end of your opponent's next turn. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one of their battle cards' energy costs are 2 or more and place it in its owner's drop area. So great effect to be able to add some more defense. And if you don't have a Bardock, this is the next best thing. But anyway, I think this deck is pretty wild. Like, I think, you know, your leader being able to constantly remove the board, your leader having burst 3 to feel the drop for Super 17 Power Distilled, or put your Rebrians in there, or whatever you want to fetch out of your drop area, and then being able to just pick them back up or use the effects, you're just going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the opponent. And just getting a Bardock Unison down early and pressuring the opponent's hand by making them discard 2 cards with the Vegeta Super combo, using Rebrian to make them discard 2 cards, having critical attackers, like, it seems like hand destruction just ramps up even more so in Series 10, and I think that this is just like a basic list that, aside from Rebrian, is pretty inexpensive, but of course Rebrian's ridiculously expensive. But overall, I'm hyped for Series 10. I'm hyped to see the rest of the cards that are coming out for green. I think that green got a lot. The Ginyu Force stuff is kind of neat, kind of cute, but I really think Goku Leader is where the money's at. But in general, hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. I'm glad I could give you this simple, easy deck profile. Get your hands on Ribrianne Punishing Passion if you have the extra money, but I'm not going to endorse spending money you don't have. Hope you're staying safe out there during the coronavirus. Thank you guys so much for everything. Okay, thanks. Bye!